Hello and welcome back to Super Story Science. My name is Sarah Scoggin and I'm the Early Childhood Librarian at Newburgh Free Library. Today our theme is communication and information. How much information is in messages and how can we communicate in unusual ways? If you're just joining us, we have a character called Dr. Learnalot who answers science questions over email, and I will put a link up in the card to the past videos. I'll also put a link down in the description to Read Squared, the summer reading program digital platform. As always, if you are signed up for Read Squared, you can earn a digital badge for doing one of the activities in this video. Thanks, Tay. Isne aking te uteuye. Ive. Oh, hi. I just said, thanks, nice talking to you, bye, in a language called Pig Latin. I wasn't talking to pigs, though. Okay, time to check my email. Friday, July 31st, 2020, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dear Dr. Learnalot, I recently lost my voice from too much singing, and I am getting bored of just writing down everything that I want to say on paper or typing. Are there other ways I can communicate? Sincerely, Laryngitis. Well, Lauren, you're in luck because there are a lot of ways to communicate besides talking or typing. You could try skywriting. That's where a plane flies around and it has special smoke that comes out the back of the plane that can spell messages. You could try writing messages in invisible ink. You make a message that looks like there's no message there. Then you do something special and the message appears. I'll put links down in the description to how you can make invisible ink. You could try telling a story in emojis. What does this story say? It looks like it was a beautiful day out in the park and two people were having a nice picnic with hamburgers and hot dogs and ice pops and playing soccer when out of a plant came a whole bunch of ants, so they weren't too happy about that. And then came some clouds and then rain and lightning and thunder, so they had to run home and play some chess. Or use magnetic letters. You could try spelling a message with sticky notes in your window, or spell it out of snap together blocks. Or you could even make your message out of food. Fruit and cake letters. You could spell words by putting in numbers in your calculator and turn the calculator upside down. You could even stitch letters by doing cross stitch. In South Korea, they made a message by putting many drones with lights up into the sky. But those are all ways of writing that just made writing a little less boring. What if you didn't want to write at all? Well, you could try sending a message by taking pictures. Or you could draw your message. There are ways of communicating that use flags. When you hold up two flags in different ways, wave them different ways, with different colors, that can send a message to someone far away. You just agree ahead of time what different things mean when you hold the flags different ways. They wouldn't be able to hear you if you shouted anyway. Or you could try sending a message in what we call Morse code. That's where every letter of the alphabet gets a whole bunch of dots and dashes. So A is dot dash. So if I want to send an A to you, I would send a quick sound, a quick little beep, and then I would send a longer sound, that the dash is longer, like beep. So beep, beep is A. That way I could send you letters when really all I'm sending you are short beeps and long beeps. I could send you a message by using the pattern of the sound of drums. You can hear drums from far away. So I could make a message with drums. Even music is kind of like a language. You could make a language out of musical notes, a code, and then you could play the code on an instrument. You could use gestures. You could point to something that you wanted, or if you were hungry, you could pretend to eat. But it might be kind of hard for other people to figure out what you want. What would be even better is if you used a language, a real language that didn't use talking, a sign language. In American Sign Language, this is how you would say science. How would we measure the amount of information in a message. If you were measuring how long something is, you could measure it, well, scientists usually measure it in centimeters, but you could measure it in inches. If I had something and I wanted to figure out how heavy it was, a scientist would probably measure it in kilograms, or you could use pounds to tell how heavy something is. But how do you tell how much information, how much message is in your message? There is a way to figure it out. Bits. We measure how much information is in what we communicate with something called bits. A bit is the amount of information you need to answer a question with two choices. Let's pretend that my hand with my thumb is 1 bit. So if it's a choice between two choices, two options, I could say thumbs up or I could say thumbs down. That's 1 bit of information. Just one choice, yes or no, up or down. So if you ask me, would you like a grilled cheese? I could say, or what if I had 2 bits? Now I can't just send 2 messages. I actually can send 4. I could say, yes, I really, really want a grilled cheese sandwich. Or we could agree that if my right thumb is up and my left thumb is down, then I could say, I want a grilled cheese sandwich a little bit. We could say that this means I don't really want a grilled cheese sandwich that much. And then this means I don't want a grilled cheese sandwich at all. So that's 4 messages. This one, this one, this one, and that one. Now, if I had 3 bits, I could send even more messages.
Do you want macaroni and cheese?
We call that binary. In a binary message, thumbs up and thumbs down, that's 1 bit because I had to have thumbs up. Let's call that thumbs up a 1. And let's call that thumbs down a 0. Anything can be used to send a message of 1 bit if it can give you 2 choices. For example, if someone asks me if I want to watch soccer or baseball, maybe wearing my red hat means I want to watch soccer, and wearing my blue hat means I want to watch baseball. A blue hat or a red hat sends a message of 1 bit. Or if I had a light, I could say, let's say when the light is on, we'll call that a 1. And when the light is off, we'll call that a 0. That way we could write down the different choices we were making as a 0 or a 1. So let's say 1 bit. Imagine you have 1 lamp. That 1 lamp is 1 bit. If the lamp is off or on, you only have 2 choices, 0 or 1, off or on. But if you had 2 lamps, you could have 4 choices. You could have both lamps off, the first lamp on and the second lamp off, or you could have the first lamp off and the second lamp on, or you could have both lamps on. If you have 3 bits, 3 lamps, we'll say, you don't just get an extra choice. Now you can send 8 different messages. There's 8 different ways that 3 lamps can be on and off. It could be off, 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 on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, or on. Whew, that's a lot of on and off. The more bits I have, the more messages I can send. Computer code. How can people communicate with computers? Computers can't really think like humans can, but we need to give them instructions to tell the computers what to do, how to run programs and do things that we want them to do. So we have to give the computer careful instructions. But we can't just say to the computer, do this. It needs its own special language. That's the binary language we were talking about before. 1s and 0s. You're telling what's tiny, tiny, tiny switches inside the computer to be on and off to do what you want. That's what's happening right now as you're watching this video. There are so many 1s and 0s going through your computer or your phone to make the video run. Computers have to have very specific instructions, like an if-then instruction. In real life, an if-then instruction would be something like, if I turn the light on, then pick up a book. Or a different kind of code could be, if you're doing something and then something very particular happens, stop the first thing and do something different. Otherwise, just keep doing the first thing. So for example, if you're eating and then the fire alarm goes off, stop eating and leave the building. Otherwise, just keep eating. If other things happen around you, like someone spills their juice, you don't stop eating and leave the building like you do when the fire alarm goes off. Only when that thing happens that you've been told, you should stop doing the first thing and do something different. Maybe someday some of you listening to this video right now will become programmers, so you can teach the computers what to do using computer language. You can communicate in so many different ways. All that's really important is that you and the person you're communicating with agree on what the signals or symbols or movements or whatever you're using mean. You could make up a code with a friend where the number of times you clap means something. Could mean I'm hungry, and could mean let's go read. You would make up that code, decide what it means. Language is its own kind of code. Really, communication is all about connection. I ope ute connectke itwe uye exne aimte. I mean, I hope to connect with you next time. So that's all the super story science we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Your mission is to communicate in a way that is new, a way that you've never tried before. So you could create a message in invisible ink. You could learn to speak Pig Latin. You could send a message in Morse code by blinking a flashlight or making a sound. Any way that was mentioned in the video that you could communicate that you haven't tried before. Thanks so much for watching.